there's a shot. Portland riverfront camera, downtown Portland, cloudy skies. Well, that's all right, because it's all sunshine and rainbows in here. I'm Trey Renee. Thank you so much for joining us. Happy Hump Day, everybody. Oh, man, today we are going to inspire you. No matter how you feel in this moment, our next guest will help lift you up. We welcome back to the show WhyTry trainer and success coach, Kemy Joseph is back with us. Kemy!
Thanks for having me. That's an amazing introduction. Thank you.
It is all true, though, because every time you're here, you do help inspire and uplift all of our spirits.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, you know, a little selfish thing for me to have you here. So thanks for being here.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much.
So now today we're talking about what to do when you feel helpless. Is that right?
Yeah, it's interesting you call it Hump Day today. You know, all the speakers I met in the back are here about the same message. To me, it seems, and people have been literally calling me since my last appearance here because of the challenges that they're facing, right?
Yeah.
And just seeing how many people are struggling and thinking about how many people feel helpless, how many people feel like they're in front of a wall and they don't know what to do to get over it.
Yeah, no, a lot of people do feel that way. And it's funny that you mentioned from the last time you were here, because we received so many comments and people wanting to know, where can we find Kemy's spoken word piece, which I want you to do a little bit later, right? Because we need that. We need that. But tell us about, you know, when you feel stuck and when you feel like there's a wall right in front of you that you can't get over, what are some of the things that we can do when we feel helpless?
Absolutely. So with WhyTry, one of the visual metaphors we have is called "you can see over the wall," right? It's a picture of a young man standing in front of a wall. On the wall it says drugs, violence. It says, you know, if no one cares about me, family issues. This is what happens when we are inundated with problems and we literally can't see beyond. We call that the limited view, right? And most people who are feeling like they're struggling are seeing that limited view. And what we want people to do is be able to get on top of the wall, right, where they can see that they have opportunity, freedom, and self-respect, and they're just above the wall. And what's interesting is when we talk about overcoming challenges, when we're talking about being on top of the wall, notice that the problems are still there, right? So it's being able to see it from a different vantage point, being able to stand on top of the problems versus thinking that they're always going to go away. Because oftentimes some problems we have won't go away.
Right, being realistic about it.
Being realistic, right? And it's letting people, so people have real hope. And I think about HOPE as an acronym of humans overcoming problems every day.
I love that. Yeah, I love that.
As soon as I received that, I don't know where it came from. It just like, it felt so strong for me that I've been sharing it often because it reminds us that we overcome the problem. We may not solve it, may not be resolved. It's still there, but we can step over it and we can continue. We can use that as fuel to move us forward.
I love it. I love it. Now, you talk a lot about flipping switches or flipping the switch. Tell me about that.
One of the concepts in the WhyTry program as well as flipping the switch, right? And the key is that we know that we can flip a switch and think about something differently, and that can change the whole way that we see a situation, change the whole way that we move forward in our life. So we have 5 steps to do that, right? Okay. And the first one is acknowledging that we have a switch, acknowledging that we have the power to take control of our situation. And it's important because human beings are the only creatures on the planet who can choose to feel powerful or to not feel powerful, and literally to choose. So we must admit that we are powerful first and foremost to even move through our situations. Don't you find that a lot of people find that to be the most difficult step, though? Yep. Because when you feel helpless, it's difficult to feel like you have control. That's where the helplessness comes from. And that's the biggest challenge, right? And knowing that 80% of any change, 80% of any success is our belief in what is possible. So when we first acknowledge that we have a switch, that we can make a difference in a situation, then we can actually look at the situation for what it is. Right? Oftentimes situations are things that we've created. So if we created it, we can also change it, right?
Speak that truth. Isn't that the truth?
So we have to look at it for what it is. And we do think positive. We also want to acknowledge there are negative things. So instead of looking at a garden and saying there's no weeds, I'm saying there are weeds in there. I have to pull them out if I want to clear this out. If there's a problem, I do want to address it and move forward. Right. And then so then the third question is, then we ask to flip the switch question. You know, what can I do to better this circumstance or to use this circumstance to produce a productive outcome? Right. And it's again acknowledging that we may not be able to resolve it, but what can I learn from the situation? How can I grow from the situation? What's a way that I can do something that helps me and helps others who are going through that move forward together? I think I like that one so far the best, because when you recognize that you may not solve it, because that's the part that I think people get stuck there too. It's like, well, I don't see how
I can make this any better for me or for my loved ones or whatever. I can't fix it.
I can't fix it. I mean, part of the reason I said I'm having this conversation, people call me and some people are dealing with cancer and their family members are dealing with it, and there's spontaneous remissions that happen. People are going towards that, but what if your family member is not?
Sure.
Right? There's still ways that we can treat each other, that we can talk and make sure we spend quality time. There's ways that I can still feel hopeful about what I can contribute in this person's last few weeks on this planet, right? That there's things that I can do, and regardless of what situations we're going through, it's a reminder to the people that we can make a difference in those situations.
Absolutely. We can always do something.
We can always do something, and so then the next step in there is paying attention to how we feel. Right, when we focus on what we can control, like even in situations, like I said, cancer, where a lot of it's out of our control, when we focus on the parts that we can control and we can influence, we start to feel a little bit more empowered. We start to feel more hopeful. As we pay attention to that, then that's a sign that we're on the right path. And then the last step is to continue flipping the switch, like to keep doing it over and over until that empowerment is sustained.
Okay.
Right? And until we actually feel that our switch is on and we can live that life that we are seeking to live.
I'm envisioning this flipping of the switch and just keep flipping it up, flipping it up, flipping it up, until the light actually comes on, right?
Sometimes
is that what it is?
Big old lever where you're like having to oh, I got it.
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, it feels like a workout, right? So it's not easy, right? It's simple. It doesn't mean it's easy. That's why we say keep flipping the switch. You know, even on a day where it's a normal, like you said, hump day, right? Even if it's a regular day, we might flip the switch 30,000 times.
Sure.
Depends on what's going on, but just acknowledging that we have the power to make a difference in that way is a huge catalyst to being able to go from being in front of the wall to being above the wall.
I love it. It's stepping on to it instead of feeling crushed by it. So now I know you are an amazing spoken word artist, and you cannot get out of here without leaving us with some inspirational message.
Inspiration, okay.
Yes, would you please?
Would I please look at this camera?
Yeah, I want you to direct it to right here.
Okay. Thinking of the best one. Life can hit you like a ton of bricks, and there's days where we lose our grit. We think back, we reminisce about what we have and what we miss. But I say, just put a pause on that now. Take a breath and reclaim your power, because you're the light that you need in the dark. You are where it starts. If you see yourself as a hero and play your part, and you speak your truth and you share your beautiful art and keep moving forward towards your dreams, you will see that life is on your side. You will see that you have the power to make a difference in every single moment, and that today can be the greatest day of your life.
Wow! Wait. Yeah, I received that. I received all of that. Now, real quick, there's a book that you wanted to recommend, yes?
Yeah, so Christian Moore, who started WhyTry, is an incredible mentor of mine. He actually is going through his own challenge right now, which has sparked this conversation, and we're talking about how limitations are an invitation, right? Even if you're down and you're feeling out, that challenge is an invitation to do things different, to do things greater, right? Yeah. And so this book, The Resilience Breakthrough, it's amazing. It provides not only his story, but also tons of resilience boosters, which we call them, just like that little boost you need to flip the switch.
That's flipping that switch.
And flipping the switch is in the book as well, so you can find it on the WhyTry's website as well as Amazon. There's even an audiobook.
Oh, don't worry, we're gonna get everybody to it. You know that, Kemy. Thank you.
People have been asking me for resources, and I think this is one that's helped me tremendously. Yeah. Let me remind people that there's so many resources they have at their disposal.
Thank you so much. All right, limitations are the invitation.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna have more about Kemy and his tips for you at KATU.com. Thank you again so much, my friend.